Hey guys, I'm Rakesh. So भाई on popular demand, we have shifted from the Big Boss style model to Bollywood style. I'm calling it Big Boss because you could only hear my voice in the previous versions. From this video onwards, you'll be able to see me in action. Anyways, this is the Samachar Manthan 18th lecture. We are going to cover environment and science and tech here. The first topic is stubble burning. Okay, it is given by some other name, a longer name, I guess. It is given like up in the air on stubble burning, but we're going to stick with this one only. Stubble burning is an important topic for both prelims and mains. More importantly for mains, because we have seen in the environment section specifically, especially after 2016, we are seeing a rise in the number of questions related to environment in GS3. From about 2013 till 2016, we had about 1 to 2 questions from environment. But from 2017 itself, 3 questions in 2017, 4 questions in 2018. So the weightage is increasing. This becomes important from that angle. Also, it can be asked in GS1 as well. GS1 would be in the case of geography, because here, that is in GS1, geography can ask you about the spatial distribution of stubble burning, the pattern of stubble burning. So these two specific things can be asked in geography. The other things related to the topic is important for GS3 environment section. So we are going to cover the meaning of stubble burning. I guess this would be self-explanatory, but still we'll be covering the meaning, then why it has been in news. All right. Then the spatial distribution, okay, important for geography. Then the pattern of stubble burning, again important for geography. Then why farmers do it. All right, and then we're going to talk about government efforts to prevent stubble burning. Acha, about government efforts, this topic has been in news for the last 2-3 years now, and the pattern, that is spatial pattern, spatial distribution and pattern, this has changed in recent years. So this can be asked in geography in the 2019 mains. But the other things are not really important because they have remained the same. What is important is government efforts. 2019 mains can ask you about the efficacy of these efforts, how successful these have been. So this becomes important. And about the efficacy, newspapers have not really written about editorials because stubble burning would begin in October and continue up till November or December. So only after that we are going to see editorials about the efficacy of the recent government efforts. After government efforts, we're going to talk about the concerns that farmers have about the proposed efforts and way forward. Way forward. Okay. Starting with meaning, so stubble burning simply means stubble is the crop residue that is left after harvesting the grain. So it is a stalk. Stalk means stalk. This is the spelling. So stalk means that I mean, if you have ever seen a crop, I don't know, I have a rural background, I have seen farming very closely. A crop is like, I'm talking about wheat or rice. It is like about 50 centimeters it would be, and the top part of it would be the grain and the remaining would be the stalk. So this stalk is what is left out, and this stalk is being burned. That is what is known as stubble burning. Okay, so meaning is done. Now why it has been in news? The primary reason is pollution. I mean pollution in the NCR, Delhi NCR region. So that is the main issue why it has been in news. And just related to that, let me tell you about the gases which stubble burning releases. So oxides of carbon would mean carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. Then we have oxides of sulfur, that is sulfur oxide, sulfur dioxide, and we also have particulate matter and black carbon. Okay, so these are the prominent emissions which get released after stubble burning, and these lead to pollution naturally. So pollution will lead to health issues, respiratory problems, other sorts of diseases. It also leads to global warming because of carbon dioxide, black carbon. So global warming leads to your melting of glaciers, especially black carbon. Temperature rises because of carbon dioxide, and black carbon magnifies that impact. So melting of glaciers happen. And then we have soil health also reduces. Now it reduces because burning the stubble, it affects soil nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium and sulfur. Okay, so we have these things that can be asked in your prelims. Okay, next we'll talk about the spatial distribution. So the most prominent area that gets affected by your stubble burning is Delhi NCR. So states around Delhi NCR, that is Punjab and Haryana, they are the most in news. So this is the most important region, that is which contributes the maximum to stubble burning related issues. But recently other regions are also cropping up. So other regions will include in the north we have UP, especially Western UP. Western UP can be categorized in the near NCR region also, it depends. But right now I'm putting it in UP only. Then we have in central India, we have Madhya Pradesh, we have Jharkhand, we have Chhattisgarh, we have Odisha, as well. Parts of Maharashtra also, you can call Maharashtra. Then in Western India, Rajasthan is also coming up in stubble burning rankings. And in South India, we have a few pockets of Tamil Nadu mainly. So these are the regions important for your GS1 geography. Next is the pattern, the stubble burning pattern. Okay. You need to differentiate between the spatial distribution and the pattern. Spatial distribution means geographical distribution, which all areas stubble burning happen in, the prominent ones. Pattern means the time of the year when stubble burning happens. So the most notorious time is after the Kharif rice crop is cut. So it happens during like mid-October, you can say mid-October till November, till the Rabi crop, the wheat is sown. So this is the most notorious period. So especially in your wherever rice crop is sown, the monsoon, the Kharif rice crop, that is cut and then it is burnt. So this is the time period. But recent studies have shown that a new pattern, a new season is coming up, which is April, May. And this season is after the wheat crop, the Rabi wheat crop is cut. Okay, so this is the new season that has come up. Although government has not accepted that this has happened, this is some NGO, the name is Center for Science and Environment. It had published a study which claimed that a new season of stubble burning is happening, which is April to May, and in which the Rabi wheat crop is cut. This is the traditional season. And in November, December, 80% of the stubble burning happens in this period. Then we have mostly it happens in Punjab and Haryana. Rice crop, I have already told you. New season, there is no official data. Okay, and other states, the ones which I mentioned in central India, Western India, Rajasthan, Central India, Southern India, they would be categorized in the new. Be careful with the southern one. Wheat is not sown in Tamil Nadu, so don't include that in your the new season. Just stick to central and western states, so you can categorize them in the new season. That will be all in pattern. Okay, next we have why farmers do it. भाई ऐसा क्या है, क्यों करते हैं? The first reason is cost. Cost means the expenses related to agriculture are increasing because of there has been a shortage of agricultural labor recently, especially due to Manrega, and the agricultural wages are going up. So cost of harvesting the crop has increased, because of which mechanized solutions were sought. So increasing cost. Also, and this can be asked in your prelims also, MSP, that is minimum support price, MSP doesn't cover the crop, the cost of stubble burning. It only covers the other costs of sowing and harvesting other things, but not the post-harvest cost, that is of stubble burning. It doesn't cover. So overall, the cost of farming goes up, profits come down. So naturally, this is one big reason. The next reason is mechanization. Okay, mechanization of agriculture. So we have already seen that because of rising costs, profits were reducing, and naturally farmers were looking for a mechanized solution, low cost mechanized solution. So what was offered was combine harvesting machine, combine harvesters, you can call them, or combine harvest machine. Now these are very efficient in the sense that they just take the grain part, the top 10 centimeter, they'll just take that part, but the remaining 40 centimeters of the stalk, that will be left out. So I mean, it is an irony to call it stubble, because stubble usually means a small something small in size, but if you have a 40 centimeters stalk, it should not be called stubble, it should be called, I don't know, beard maybe. Anyways, so combine harvesting machines, now these take only the top part of the grain and leave out the rest. And the other problem is that the combine harvester, they make a very sharp cut when they take out that grain, and because of that sharp cut, not only the farmers get injured, but also animals find it very difficult to graze upon that the cut stalk. So this is a problem. So mechanization, these machines are said to be amongst the biggest reasons why stubble burning is happening. Then we have irrigation. All right, or extension of irrigation infrastructure. What this did is this has led to multi-cropping patterns. So in many areas where there is reliable irrigation, farmers they do like 3 crops in a year. They sow 3 crops in a year, which leaves very little time between crops for harvesting and post-harvest operation, that preparing the soil, the field again for the next crop. So that again has led to stubble burning. Yeah, that will be all in irrigation. And lastly, stubble has got no economic benefits. All right. Now no economic benefits because भाई देखो, जो rice stubble है, the stubble of rice crop, it has got no economic benefit because it cannot be used as fodder because of high silica. Okay, rice has got high silica, important for your prelims also, can be asked. So this high silica is not good for animals, they don't eat it. Wheat crop, it can be used as fodder, but the problem is that when combine harvesters are used for cutting this crop, there will be oil spills and other sorts of pollution that will happen of the crop, which then cannot be used for fodder purposes. So that happens. So we can say oil spills ruin the crop, okay, the stubble. Yeah, so that will be all in why farmers do it part, so important. Okay, next we move on to government efforts. Okay, so what has the government been doing to control the issue, to control the pollution of related to stubble burning? Let us begin with 2014, when the government of India released a policy by the name of National Policy for Management of Crop Residue. This was released in 2014, but implementation problems, not implemented properly, the menace continued. In 2015, the NGT, National Green Tribunal, the NGT banned stubble burning in Rajasthan, in UP, Punjab and Haryana. In these 4 states, NGT banned the practice of stubble burning in 2015. NGT will not exactly come under government, it will be judicial efforts, but make the distinction, yaar, exam mein aayega to you write accordingly. Okay, I have to cover all the efforts. Next will be in okay, stubble burning is also a punishable offense under the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1981. This year is important. You must always know the year of various laws, especially the important ones. And I have noticed that many of you write act as act with a small a. I don't know why this is the problem. Whenever you want to write a legislation, the name of a legislation, you have to keep the a capital. This is a grammatical error. Otherwise, do not use it in small letters. Small letters will mean the verb act. Okay, so we are not talking about the verb act, we are talking about the noun act. So you have to keep it capital. The a must be capital. Yeah. Next we have the measures which are given in your PDF. So that is the recent measures under the directions of the Supreme Court appointed body EPCA. The center government plus the state governments, they are incentivizing the farmers through subsidies, loan waivers, to adopt mechanized solutions like happy seed drill, zero till, that machine, the name is given, I'm forgetting the name, it's given in a PDF. So you must know the names of those machines as well. Mention them in your answers. They will enrich your answers. So these are the government efforts. You must know not just the efforts but also their efficacy, which we'll see in about say 1 or 2 months. Editorial will come. Then we'll continue to talk about it. The next is concerns of farmers. Okay, government efforts done. The next is concerns of farmers. Concerns of farmers, especially with regards to the mechanized solution, the happy seed drill and that zero till machine the government is proposing. So the farmers are concerned that these machines may not be very relevant for farms less than 5 acres. This is concern number one, that these machines may not be very effective in farms less than 5 acres. And secondly, they also have qualms about the productivity of these machines. Productivity will mean whether the machines will be able to clear the land in time, because the next crop is to be sown quickly. There is not much time. 3 crops per year means around 10 to 15 days time between crops. So will it lead to timely removal? Will it lead to oil spills? Okay, this is another concern. It damages the soil, can't be used as fodder, then the crop. So these are the concerns. What can be the way forward? Okay, coming to way forward. So the government must be proactive. Proactive in the sense that it must persuade and reassure the farmers. Reassure the farmers about what? About the usability, the utility of the mechanized solutions the government is proposing. Persuade. How to persuade? By talk to them about the problems stubble burning creates for the NCR region, the population, even for the environment, for the soil, the problems it creates. So persuasion can happen through education and sensitization of the farming community. Okay, education and sensitization. They can also persuade the farmers through success stories of the machines that the government is giving as an alternative to the combined harvester machines, the happy seed drill and the zero till machine. So give out success stories. Also reassure the farmers that their concerns will be looked into. So whatever concerns the farmers have raised, especially with regards to the utility of the machines in farm sizes less than 5 acres. So what the government can do is make more innovative machines, create machines which are actually relevant for farm sizes less than 5 acres. The government can also prepare machines which are for diverse agroclimatic conditions. Maybe one machine which is doing well in Punjab may not be doing well in Madhya Pradesh because of the soil, the geology, all those things. So different agroclimatic geological regions also can have different machines. So customization can happen in those terms. Then we have there are multiple causes of air pollution, all right, in the NCR region. Multiple causes. Stubble burning is just about 20% of the smog that happens in winters. But the other causes, what the causes are, we'll talk about a little while later. The other causes must also be dealt with. So a holistic solution is needed, and not just, government should not just single out stubble burning as the main cause. So that will be the way forward. Then we have why air pollution happens in winters. We can also talk about it as the causes of air pollution in winters, related topic. So why air pollution rises in winters. All right. The first cause is that there is an increase in burning of biomass for heat, because winters mean people will require heating. So increase in biomass happens because of that. Then stubble burning is another cause. This is burning of biomass. Burning biomass for heating purposes. Then stubble burning. Then we have crackers. Big problem, huge nuisance. There's Diwali festival, Dashera, then wedding season also in winter. So this is another big cause of the trouble there. Then we have 4 meteorological problems. Meteorological problems. So meteorology will mean, see, in winters there is high pressure. High pressure means air is falling because of low ground temperatures. Air will be falling. There is high pressure. That means cold, heavy air will be close to the ground. Another way to understand it is like in winters, after the sun goes down, say about 4 p.m. the sun will go down, the ground, the earth will lose its heat immediately. Very fast it is going to lose its heat, because of which the air in contact to the ground is going to become cold because of conduction. Now this cold air will be heavy, and because there is in winters there is no winds, are very feeble winds are there, like not like summers, loose and those things, not like that. Even low pressure is not there. Low pressure will mean air is rising. Okay, so that is not happening. High pressure is there. So the heavy cold air remains on the ground undisturbed, because of which whatever pollutants, these three, whatever pollutants are there, they get trapped near the ground only, near the earth's surface only, and this makes life hell. Okay, so increases the air pollution. So these are the multiple causes of air pollution. Government can address only the first 3. Naturally it cannot address the meteorological cause, but the first 3 can be addressed, and that is going to lead to a holistic solution to the problem. Yeah, that will be all in this topic. All right, the second topic is soil moisture map. So this is the first time that a pan-India soil moisture map has been made available, and this topic is mainly important for prelims. In mains, it can be asked under a broader theme of how science and tech is helping Indian agriculture. So this can be used as one of the examples in that broad themed question. So how science and tech helps agriculture. So this can be the theme of your mains. A few facts important for prelims. The first thing is that this map has been made by IIT Gandhinagar and Indian Meteorological Department. It provides pan-India or countrywide information about soil moisture. Soil moisture means the moisture content of the soil. It is not the same as rainfall data. Rainfall data is different. We'll talk about it later when we talk about the utility of this map. Soil moisture means the moisture content in the soil. It is pan-India. Then the forecast is provided in 7 and 30-day lead times. Then we have variable infiltration capacity. This model has been used in making the map. The parameters used by this model include soil, vegetation, land use, and land availability, land cover, land use, land cover, among other parameters. So these are the important ones. These parameters can be asked in prelims. Okay. Then the formal name is experimental forecast land surface products. So EFLSP. This is the formal name of the map. Please note, this is just an experimental map, not a finalized version. It is going to mature into a final version later, but as of now, the first map is just experimental. Then we talk about the findings of this map. So it has concluded that deficit soil conditions, soil moisture is in Gujarat, Bihar, Jharkhand, parts of Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and southern Andhra. Okay, these are the deficit states. Normal or surplus soil moisture is in western UP, Bundelkhand, and Chhattisgarh. All right. I would exhort you people to see this map yourself. Now, there's a beautiful map on the Indian Express, I think, has given this this topic, and you just copy the name of the topic from your PDF and put it in the in your search bar in the Indian Express. You will find this map. So please see that. It will give you greater clarity. Coming to utility of the soil moisture map. All right. So how it will be useful? The first is it is going to help in determining the choice of crop. All right. Which farmers would sow. Say for example, if I am a farmer and in the upcoming Rabi season I want to sow a crop, if I have an idea about how much moisture will my farm have, will the soil in my farm have, I can better decide whether I should go for wheat or I should go for some other crop. So choice of crop will be beneficiary. Then irrigation requirements. All right, I am a government official. I have soil moisture map, so I can plan ki bhai, which area would need irrigation, how much irrigation, and during what periods. So this will help in irrigation planning. Then we have seeds to be used. I am a farmer. If I know how much moisture will my soil have, I can decide on the variety of seeds, the type of seed, the type of genome which I would like to sow. Maybe a sturdy crop, maybe some other variety. So seed variety can be helped. Then soil moisture data is not the same as rainfall data. ठीक है भाई, देखो rainfall data IMD is already providing that, but soil moisture is not the same as rainfall. Say for example, I am a farmer. If I know if the data provided by IMD ki bhai, say on X number of days rain is going to happen, but I don't know about the sunshine, so it may so happen that the temperature rises abruptly after the rain, and all that moisture which was in the soil, it will just vanish. So soil moisture data is more relevant than rainfall data, especially for agriculture related decisions. So that will be all in this topic. Okay, the next is Global Geoparks Network. Global Geoparks Network. All right. Hardcore preliminary topic. The first point is it is also known as Global Network of National Geoparks. Okay, Global Network of National Geoparks is its other name. It is a status. It is a status given by UNESCO. All right, and this status is given to sites which are of global geological significance. Sites of global geological significance. Okay. Yeah. And these sites are managed with a holistic concept of protection, education, and sustainable development. Once this status is given, these sites are holistically managed. Holistically managed. And the elements are education, protection, and sustainable development. Okay, so protection will be naturally because it is a global geological significance the site has. Education and sustainable development, these two components are related to the local communities. So these communities are apprised of the geological significance, the importance of these sites, and so that they become partners in preserving, conserving those, and sustainably managing these sites. So that is about your Global Geoparks Network. Certain other information is important, can be asked in prelims. So this network was established in 1998. Some sources claim to be 2004 also. The point is that 2004 was the year of the first conference of Global Geoparks Network. The first conference happened in 2004. But some sources also claim that it was established in 2004. So depending on the option, even if it is 1998 or if it is 2004, both of them are correct, no problem. Then established by UNESCO, I have already told you. Yes. Close synergy. This program has got close synergy with UNESCO's Man and Biosphere program, which runs on similar lines of protection, education, and sustainable development. Similarly, this program is related to UNESCO's Man and Biosphere program. Okay, then three criteria. Okay, three criteria for being recognized as a global geopark. They are given in your PDF. वहीं से ही पढ़ लेना यार. Important for prelims but not needed for mains. So just go through your PDF in these. All of them, all three you must know. Okay, let's talk about the conferences. So the first conference happened in 2004 and this was in Beijing. Okay. Then since 2004, these conferences have been held biannually. Okay, biannually or biennially. The sixth one, the latest one, happened in 2014 in New Brunswick in Canada. New Brunswick in Canada. Coming to the number of GGN sites, China has got the maximum GGN sites. India has none till now. The proposed Indian sites are the first is Lonar Lake in Maharashtra, and Saint Mary's Island in Karnataka. Okay, this is in Maharashtra and this is in Karnataka. Yeah. Yes, that will be all in this topic. Okay. So just like Bollywood videos, Bollywood movies, this video is also extending. Okay, already become, I don't know, 40 minutes or so. All right, let's quickly try to cover the other things. The next topic is Ibsamar. Okay, and this is the 6th edition. So this is a military exercise. All military exercises are important, but it is only a naval exercise. Okay, armies, air forces, they are not involved. Only a naval exercise. And the 6th edition that is happening this year will be held in Simonstown in South Africa. Okay, and the 5th edition was held in India, and the navies of IBSA, India, Brazil and South Africa, these three navies, they do this exercise. So that will be all in this topic. The next is rafting expedition. Okay, Mission Gange. So not a very important topic, but then we should not leave anything out. That's why it has been covered, and only in prelims a question may come. So this expedition has been organized by National Mission for Clean Ganga and Tata Steel Adventure Foundation. It is a month-long expedition and is led by the first Indian woman to climb Mount Everest, which is Miss Bechendri Pal. Miss Bechendri Pal. All right. Multiple towns are covered. These towns, the names are given in your PDF. Please go through the names. More importantly, open the political map of the states in which these towns are and just locate them with relation to Ganga. That is, where in relation to Ganga these towns fall. You need to know the location. That is important, can be asked. So that will be all in this topic. All right. The next topic is very important. Okay, and this is important for both prelims and mains. भैया दोनों में question आ सकता है. All right, so Hyperloop, this is being touted as the fifth mode of transportation. Fifth mode of transportation. You must have seen pictures of Hyperloop. It is basically an extension of railways only, but it will be like a huge steel frame would be made, round cylindrical steel frame would be made, and independent pods are there. mainly like if you have seen, I don't know, metro coaches or even regular rail coaches, train coaches you would have seen. So one coach would be like an independent self-contained unit, and cylindrical steel pipes would be there, and that coach would be, I don't know, I mean, people usually get mesmerized by my amazing drawing skills. Okay, so this is the hyperloop. Okay, now this idea was originally given by a person named Robert Goddard. Okay, I don't know. There was a very famous person, सारा शहर हमें लॉयन के नाम से जानते हैं. So that लॉयन had a sidekick Robert. Oh. Okay, anyways, Robert Goddard. So this was the person who gave the idea originally, but what we have right now is the Elon, whatever is the pronunciation, Musk's version of the idea. Okay. So this was given by him in 2013. Elon Musk is the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX. Okay. The next is I've already explained to you the meaning of hyperloop. So this is a pod. This is what is the pod, and this is a sealed steel tube. All right. There is no air resistance, minimal air resistance is there, and the speed with which this pod travels, can you imagine? 1000 kmph. So huge cities, I mean, Mumbai and Pune, it takes from the expressway, the Mumbai-Pune expressway, if you travel by the Volvo bus, I have traveled, I mean, it is about 3 hours, I think, if I'm not wrong. That will be covered in about 20-25 minutes. So the speed is amazing. And that is why it is highly fast, it is extremely fast and efficient. That is why it is being promoted. It is extremely fast and efficient because there is no air resistance. So fuel consumption will be less, better travel speeds, better time, better performance, everything in terms of efficiencies there. Okay. Let us see why it was in news. Rub the Robert also. Anyways. So why it was in news? World's first Hyperloop capsule has been unveiled. The name of the capsule is Quintero 1. Quintero 1 is the name of the capsule. It has been made by a by a company whose name is Hyperloop Transportation Technologies Incorporated. Okay, this company has made this capsule, and there are 8 other companies in the Hyperloop sector, in the Hyperloop segment, in making the Hyperloop. There are 8 other companies, but these companies have no relation to Quintero 1. Quintero 1 is a product of Hyperloop Transportation Technologies Incorporated only. Okay. Then this this capsule has been made of 100% composite material. Now, a question can come, what is composite material? So composite material is something which has been developed from 2 or more different sources, 2 or more different materials. So we can say that a composite material is a combination of, say, 2 materials, or if you want more, say Mn. Okay, 2 or more materials, they combine to form a newer material. This will be different in its properties from all its constituents. Okay, so that is known as composite material. Composite materials are also known as composition materials or composites. Okay, so this is the meaning, and these are generally used in buildings. These are used in structures like bridges. These are used in making aircrafts, bullet trains. So all these things, they are used widely. Let us talk about the advantages of Hyperloop. Now we are entering the territory of mains. So why should Hyperloop be promoted? The advantages include, the first is speed. So I have already told you 1000 kmph is faster than commercial aircrafts, commercial airlines. So 1000 kmph, the speed reduces the time, and time is money, bhaiya. Time is money. Okay. It is economical. Now many of you would be smirking with this point. Economical. How is it economical? It is economical, that is, it is cheaper compared to bullet trains and aircrafts. Okay, the tickets of this would be cheaper than these two means. And also Hyperloop requires less land, because the pods, they will be made over giant pillars. So less land is needed, not like regular conventional railway. So less land is needed, and also it can use its own energy source. It can use solar energy, generated energy. Solar energy generated in-house independently. So this adds to its economical nature. All right, the third advantage is environment friendly. All right, because it is 100% electricity driven, it doesn't use fossil fuels, and that is why no emissions. Okay, so environment friendly. Then we have less prone to human errors. Less prone to human errors because 100% automated. All systems are 100% automated, so less prone to human errors. Then we have less land intensive. One reason was because this Hyperloop uses less land, so it can be procured at a lower total cost, and because it is less land intensive, protests in countries like India, land is a big problem in India, so land acquisition troubles will be less compared to other projects. So that is these are the advantages. Let us talk about the disadvantages or the challenges or the problems. तो भैया problems क्या हैं? The first problem is that it can be unpleasant and frightening for some people. Unpleasant and frightening because some people would feel claustrophobic because the pod is windowless in a sealed steel cylindrical frame. So it can be claustrophobic for some people, leading to unpleasant experiences. Then we have the cost factor. Now this is an experimental technology, and experimental and highly advanced technology. So intensive costs are needed for research, for all kinds of experiments related to safety and all other things. It will also require highly sophisticated manpower for operations and maintenance. So all these are going to lead to higher costs. Maglev trains are being suggested as a cheaper alternative to Hyperloop. Okay, maglev trains, so can be asked in prelims. Then we have practical problems like what if emergencies happen? Emergencies related to maybe power outage, power outage. If electricity goes, it is 100% automated. What will happen if electricity goes in countries like India? We don't have reliable power supply. Even in metro, electricity goes and the train is held for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you never know. So this will be a huge problem in a sealed steel container. Okay. Other problems would be fire hazard or other issues. Security concerns are also there. Now, because it is extremely advanced technology and expensive, important people, elite sections of society will be the targets, the target audience of Hyperloop, the customers, and because of which it will become an important target for terrorists and criminals. Okay, terrorists and criminals. Even if it becomes a popular travel source, it can always be on the radar of terrorists, and especially those overland tubes. They can be a problem in Naxal affected areas. This is next to impossible as of now. Even schools cannot be operated. यार सरकारी स्कूल नहीं हो रहा है नक्सल एरियाज में. हाइपरलूप तो बहुत बात की बात है. So it becomes important, and so lastly, we can conclude by saying that Hyperloop is a promising option as a means of transportation. It is a promising option, but it needs much more time and investment as of now to make it a viable and popular travel option. So that will be all in Hyperloop. Yeah. The next topic is Gir Lyons issue. Gir Lyons death. Gir Lyons deaths. Alright, so Gir is a sanctuary in Gujarat, Gir Lion Sanctuary, and this issue came to prominence because about 23 lions had died in the eastern part of Gir Sanctuary, and this mass mortality led to news headlines. Now, although prelims can ask you questions about specific facts related to the topic, in mains I expect a question on a question related to wildlife disaster management. This becomes very interesting because till now we have seen disasters related to human beings only, earthquakes, tsunamis, all those things. But now we are seeing mass mortality of wildlife. So it becomes extremely interesting and important कि भाई how should these disasters be handled, what is the handling mechanism as of now, what are the problems. So all those things can be asked around this topic, the theme of wildlife disaster management. Now the editorial which appeared, there was just one editorial in the Hindu, I think. It did not talk too much about the mechanism of wildlife disaster management which we have as of now. So we have very limited information about that topic, but I'll keep my eyes open about that and will include the information in any way possible whenever I get it in subsequent lectures. Let us see. Today we are going to cover whatever is possible in this one. So why have the deaths happened? Two reasons. The first is canine distemper virus, and the second is tick-borne babesiosis. Majority of the deaths have happened because of the tick-borne babesiosis. So out of 23, majority of the deaths happened because of tick-borne babesiosis, and the other important cause is the canine distemper virus. In prelims, it can ask about the nature of these two causes. So this is a virus, this is a parasite. Okay, the first thing, this is a virus, this is a parasite. This parasite affects the red blood cells of the host. Then it kills, and this virus, it affects many types of animals, like dogs, wolves, foxes, primates, big cats, etc. But dogs are the primary carriers. All right, important information for prelims. Primary carriers. The canine distemper virus is also known as hard pad disease. Hard pad. Okay, hard pad disease. It is caused by a single-stranded RNA virus. It is caused by virus, definitely, but a single-stranded. Just a small digression here. You must have heard of the term DNA. So DNA is like that double helix structure. So it is something like this. Okay, this is DNA, but RNA as opposed to DNA is only single-stranded. Okay, so it is something like this. Only a single strand is there. So it is caused by a single-stranded RNA virus. Highly contagious this virus is, and it is airborne. Like it can be communicated, transferred through inhalation only. So airborne contagion might happen. And just one last thing, this RNA virus belongs to the same virus family which causes measles, mumps, and bronchiolitis. In humans. Okay, this is the important part, can be asked in prelims. All right, why should we be concerned about the deaths, mass mortality? Let us see. Why should we be concerned? The first reason is that this such type of epidemics can decimate species. Decimate means almost wipe out, almost eliminate. So can decimate the species. The Gir sanctuary is the last habitat in the wild for the Asiatic lion. Okay, so if it happens in Gir, which is the last habitat, it can decimate the species. Also, other problem is that the Asiatic lion is genetically very limited, very restricted genetic differentiation is there. So limited genes are there, and that is why the immunity will be lesser. Any sort of epidemic, if it happens, if one lion gets the disease, then the entire pride can get affected. Okay, so that is the first cause of concern. The second cause of concern is that such epidemics will force us to use artificial medical treatments. Artificial treatment. Now this is because this is basically a knee-jerk reaction. So I had told you about wildlife disaster management. So one cue we can take from here is that whenever such epidemics happen, first of all, the state government was in denial. When it could not deny anymore, it did a knee-jerk reaction of sending veterinarians, and veterinary intervention was the weapon of choice of state government. But the ecologists, the conservationists, they do not prefer artificial treatments because it hampers the processes of natural selection. If you have a species in the wild, the natural processes should be taking care of their health and other things, not through your veterinary interventions. So this becomes a problem. And the next thing is Way forward. Way forward. The first is, and the most appropriate, is create a geographically separate population of Asiatic lions. Geographically separate. All right. So, as of now, we have only Gir as the wild habitat, but in 2013, the Supreme Court had said that Kuno Sanctuary in Madhya Pradesh, can be a potential option for a geographically separate population. So in case Gir lions they get some epidemic, at least the Kuno lions will be safe. But this got meshed up. This got meshed up in politics, state politics, and then it could not proceed ahead. But this still remains the most important and appropriate intervention that create a geographically separate population for the Asiatic lions. The second is, until this is done, until we can create a geographically separate population, create a new area within Gujarat. Create new conservation area within Gujarat. So this can be in Barda Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay. Now I want you guys to open up your atlases, locate where Barda is, locate where Kuno is, locate where Gir is, identify the physical features, open the physical map of these states, and the features like Konsa Nadi, Nale, Pahad, the peaks, rivers, all those things, identify, see the political map, see the important cities, nearby cities. So that becomes important. Then we have third point, control wild dog population, which is the most important carrier, the primary carrier. Control wild dog populations. So that will be all in this topic. Lastly, in your PDF, you would be given the back to basics part. In that part, there are 5 points. All of them are important. Please read them in the PDF only. But there are certain points in which figures are given. So please note that in anything, neither in your prelims nor in your mains, figures are not important. Only the trends are important. So you need to know, compared to say 2013. What happened in 2016? Did the population increase, decrease? So these kinds of trends should be what is looked into. Otherwise, figures are not important. They can be skipped. So that will be all in this topic. The next is Japan drops a robot on an asteroid. Okay, Japan has dropped a robot on an asteroid. These are the keywords. All right, the robot is mascot. The name is mascot, and it has been launched from Hayabusa 2. Hayabusa 2 probe. Okay, so this is the probe, or you can also call it the mothership, or mother satellite, or mothership, whatever. So this is the probe which is circling the asteroid, and from this ship, this robot mascot was dropped, and this mascot is going to collect data and images on the asteroid. And it is a France and German collaboration. Okay, the full form is Mobile Asteroid Surface Scout. Full form is Mobile Asteroid Surface Scout. I think this is given in your PDF also. And the important thing is that this is not the first robot to be dropped on an asteroid. The first robots were a pair known as Minerva 2. Okay, by Minerva, UPSC students will only know of what? The Minerva Mills case. You also have a Minerva in Science and Tech now. So Minerva 2 robots have come, and these are a pair of robots. So two robots are there, and these were the first to be dropped on any asteroid by any country. Important. Mascot was dropped 10 days after Minerva 2. So this 10 days figure is not important, but Mascot is the second robot on any asteroid by any country. This is important. All right. That's all. Yes, about the other information. So Japan launched Hayabusa 2 probe, and this was launched by JAXA. Okay, JAXA is the Japan Space Agency. The other important information can be about the asteroid. Let me just make some space for that. Okay, the asteroid is Ryugu, okay, RYUGU, and this is a near Earth asteroid. Near Earth means it is between Earth and Mars. Important point, can be asked in your prelims. And it is classified as a potentially hazardous asteroid of the Apollo group. Okay, this information is important. Now, potentially hazardous. Why are we afraid of these asteroids? In the Earth's geological history, we have had many asteroid impacts, and some of them have led to mass extinctions. So we humans are afraid कि भाई अब एक और आ जाएगा और अगला नंबर अपना होगा. Okay, that is the reason, guys. And yeah, the important thing which I have missed is that this Hayabusa 2 is a sample return mission. Okay, this is not a one-way ticket. It's not a one-way journey. It is a sample return. It is going to collect samples, and the way it is going to collect is like, this is the asteroid and this is Hayabusa 2. Okay. Again, my drawing skills are being tested. Yeah, okay. So this is Hayabusa 2. It is going to drop a missile on the asteroid. The missile is going to create a crater. Then it is going to send a collection instrument, collect the samples, withdraw, and then come back to Earth. So it is a sample return mission. This was launched, Hayabusa was launched in December 2014, and in 2020 December it is going to come back to Earth. Yeah, that will be all in this topic. The next is Operation Samudra Matri. All right. Now, this was an operation by the Indian Navy to provide humanitarian assistance to tsunami hit Indonesia. It used two aircrafts, which were C-130J and C-17 Globemaster, three ships, which were INS Tir, Sujata, and INS Shardul. So these three ships and two aircraft. This is just mundane information. I don't expect a question on this, but just for covering purposes, we have covered it. The important thing is the nature of the tsunami, the Indonesian tsunami. Now, this tsunami can be asked in both your mains as well as in your prelims. scientists are baffled by this tsunami. They're confused by this tsunami. Confused because tsunamis generally happen because of what is known as megathrust earthquakes. Megathrust, this is one single word, megathrust earthquakes. This is the normal nature of tsunami. That is, tsunami happens normally because of megathrust earthquakes. Megathrust earthquakes are like, these are two plates, they are colliding. One is going to subduct, the heavier one is going to subduct. As it subducts, the lighter one is going to fold, and after a certain amount of pressure is built, the lighter one, this is the lighter one, it is going to snap vertically like this. Now, because of this snapping, the ground is shaken, and the sea water, if it happens beneath the sea, on the sea surface, the huge amount of sea water gets that energy. That huge energy is transferred to the sea water, which then takes the form of a tsunami, and these are known as megathrust earthquakes. And such tsunamis are known as such earthquakes are also known as vertical earthquakes. Alright, these are also known as vertical earthquakes. So this is the normal condition, but the scientists are baffled because the 2018 Indonesian tsunami, the Palu tsunami, this was because of a result of horizontal earthquake. Okay, so here we have one question of geography itself. We differentiate between horizontal and vertical earthquakes. What are the how do they impact man? How do they impact geomorphology? So all these things can be asked multiple angles. So horizontal earthquakes, these happen where plates slide past each other. All right, so like initially there were converging plates. In the megathrust earthquakes, the plates were converging. Here, the plates are sliding past each other, and that is why it is known as horizontal earthquakes. These happen at strike-slip fault. Strike-slip fault, also known as transform fault or transform plate boundary. Okay, there are many different types of faults. GS में question is not expected on faults because it is more of a domain of geography optional, but you just need to know that a fault is a fracture in the Earth's crust which is like a plate boundary. Okay, so these, that is strike slip fault, transform fault and transform plate boundaries, are those where two plates move horizontally. They are not converging, they are moving horizontally, and that is why it is known as horizontal earthquake. Now, horizontal earthquakes are not known to cause tsunamis. That is what is baffling the scientists. This time the earthquake of Palu was a horizontal earthquake. The Palu fault is a strike slip fault. Question can come in prelims. You can also use this information in mains. Okay, the Palu earthquake was a horizontal earthquake of 7.5 magnitude on the Richter scale. Not important, but just I'm giving you as a comparison. If you compare this to the 2004 tsunami, a tsunami happened in 2004. This was of 9.1 magnitude on the Richter scale, and it happened at converging plate boundary. So vertical earthquake, it was of this magnitude, and you can understand the havoc that this tsunami had wreaked. Compared to this, this was a 7.5 magnitude earthquake and even horizontal earthquake. So that is what is confusing the scientists. So tsunami should not have come, but it came. What are the possible reasons? Possible reasons, important information for mains. Okay, possible reasons for tsunami, please write down. The first is that the fault could have led to some amount of vertical motion. This is the most probable, the first explanation that you would find. That is, some vertical motion could have happened. Some vertical motion could have happened. These are all hypotheses as of now, because studies are going on. We will find some, whatever results would be there in about 2, 3, 4 months. So we are going to do this topic again probably. But as of now, this is the latest information. So 4 hypotheses I'm going to talk about. The first is that there could have been some amount of vertical motion. The second is that now the faults, the rupture zone of the fault could have been in an area where the sea floor is either rising or is falling. So that the fault would have been at such a place where the sea floor is either rising or is falling, and which could have led to a landslide. That landslide would have pushed the water, that is transferred the energy to the water, and that energy would have converted into tsunami. This landslide was what the cause of Alaskan tsunami of 1964. I'll just consolidate everything. The location of the fault would have been is either rising or is falling. At such a location, the movement of the plate could have led to landslide, and this landslide could be the reason for the tsunami. All right, tsunami. The final reason, the third one, I'm going to make some space. The third reason is the location of Palu. See, Palu is located at the end of a narrow bay, which is at the end of a narrow bay. Okay, so something like this is a bay and this is sea water. Palu is here at the end of a narrow bay. The fault is also there, the strike slip fault is there, Palu fault, and it is located at the end of a narrow bay. So geomorphology also could have played a factor in the tsunami, because this narrow bay would have magnified the impact of whatever the earthquake, the energy the earthquake released. So that magnification could have led to the tsunami. So these 3 reasons are there, the possible hypothesis as of now. And other than that, there is nothing in this topic. So that will be all here. All right, the next topic is the S400 deal. This topic is mainly related to prelims only. In mains, it can be an example of the theme. The theme could be advanced weapon systems. It can either talk about indigenization of advanced weapon system, or it can talk about importing of advanced weapon systems, the partner countries. So around this theme, I'm expecting a question. Other than that, hardcore question on S400 is highly unlikely. But in prelims, definitely, this is important. So we'll talk about the angle of prelims only right now. This is also known as the missile I'm talking about. The missile is also known as Triumph. Also known as Triumph or S400, or a cooler name, SA-21 Growler. This is a cool name, yeah. S-21 Growler. Nice. Even Triumph is good. Okay. So the second is that it is a long range air defense missile. Long range air defense missile. Long range will mean approximately 400 kilometers it has, and it is for the Indian Air Force. As of now, for the Indian Air Force only, not for Navy, not for Army. Indian Air Force. This missile can shoot down even stealth fighters. Okay, stealth fighter planes can be brought down with this missile. Stealth fighters including F-35. USA का पसीना इसीलिए छूट गया है. Even F-35 can be brought down through this missile. Then India has the risk of attracting CATSA sanctions. CATSA sanctions can be applied on countries which import weapon systems or which deal with the countries Iran, North Korea, and Russia. Okay, the countries who buy weapon systems from these countries can attract CATSA sanctions. The missile provides multi-layered defense. Multi-layered will mean multi-layered defense. That is, it can shoot 3 types of missiles and can engage 36 targets simultaneously. 36 targets. Isn't it cool? Nice. Okay, and only China has these missiles. That is, only China has been sold these missiles other than India by Russia. So this can be asked that India is the first country to get these missiles. That would be wrong. India is the second country. They can also ask you about the specific country which has purchased these missiles. So that would be China. And payment is likely to be in rupee-ruble mechanism, not in dollars. This is another good thing. Payment is likely to be through a rupee-ruble mechanism, like Iran oil that we have. That's all. That would be all in this topic. Finally, we have reached the last topic. Many of you would be taking a sigh of relief now. Okay, the last topic is about methanol cooking fuel. Program launched. Methanol cooking fuel program launched. I don't expect a question in mains dedicatedly on methanol, but on alternative energy sources, which would include biofuels, methanol, other kinds of fuels can be hydrogen-based economy can come from this topic. That is, it would be under this theme of alternate fuels. In prelims, definitely a question on methanol can come. So this program has been launched by a state PSU. The name is Northeast and Assam Petrochemicals Limited. Northeast and Assam Petrochemicals Limited. This program is the first in Asia to have a canister based cooking fuel supply, and first in India to have methanol based cooking fuel. Methanol based cooking fuel. So what this means is that no country in Asia has had a program to deliver canister based fuels. Methanol based है, methanol based fuel deliver हो रहे हैं, but not through canisters. So India is the first country in Asia to deliver canister based methanol fuel or canister based fuel. And secondly, this is the first time that India is using methanol as cooking fuel. So these 2 points are important. Then we have about methanol. So why methanol should be used? The first reason is it is environment friendly, and this is going to blow your mind. Environment friendly. Okay, environment friendly would mean it has near zero pollution. Near zero pollution. India is the third highest energy related CO2 emitter. This is an important point, can be asked in prelims. I'm writing it down. India is the third highest energy related emitter. So what the focus is, energy related. So you have to be very, very careful with the language of your option. If your option in prelims talks about overall emitter, you have to see the rank which it uses. If it only talks about energy related emissions, then yes, third highest would be correct. So be careful here. The next is near zero pollution would mean health benefits in terms of no air pollutions or respiratory diseases, illnesses would not be there. That is there. But the most important thing is that it can be made from CO2. Methanol can be made from CO2 through a process known as carbon CO2 hydrogenation. Through a process known as carbon dioxide hydrogenation. This is the coolest thing. That means it can capture atmospheric CO2. How amazing is that? Okay. The other reasons why methanol can be used are that it can be produced from a multiplicity of sources. That is, it can be made from natural gas. It can be made from Indian coal. Indian coal has high ash content, but even then, Indian coal can be used in production of methanol. It can be made from biomass. It can be made from municipal solid waste. This is a huge problem, a nuisance it has become. Municipal solid waste can be used in producing methanol. Then CO2, I've already told you. Okay. That means if we have enough methanol, we are going to have energy security. This is going to strengthen India's energy security because we are going to be so much less dependent on imported oil. And besides energy security, we are also going to have a lesser import bill of oil. Oil was like about 6 lakh crore. This was the import bill, the recent annual import bill. And this is twice of India's defense budget. This is twice of India's defense budget. Other thing which I would like to point out is that do not write simply figures. Like if you just write that methanol or oil import bill was 6 lakh crore, it doesn't give that impact. We don't know how much 6 lakh crore is. When you write it like it is twice India's defense budget, then things start to fall in context. You can even write it as a percentage of India's GDP or India's health budget or whatever, the important ones, of course. So in that way, you have to put figures in context to make them relevant. Okay. Then, yeah, it is also a global best practice, that is using methanol in petrol and in as cooking fuel is a global best practice. So countries like China, Italy, Israel, Japan, South Korea and Australia, these are the prominent ones which have methanol based programs. In terms of production, China is the largest methanol producer in the world. This is something that can be asked in your prelims. China is the maximum, that is the largest methanol producer in the world, which is about 65% of global production. So that is what it is. And yeah, just one thing I have missed, that this program as of now is only a pilot project, but pilot project restricted to Assam, but over time it will be covering Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Telangana, Goa and Karnataka as well. So when it matures, it is going to cover the other states, but as of now it is only a pilot project restricted to Assam. Let me see. Yeah, so that will be all in today's video, guys. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I hope you liked it too. If there is any sort of feedback which you would like to give me in terms of improving the content of the lecture, the way in which it is being delivered, please feel free to communicate. I'm always there on Telegram groups. You can message me separately also if in case you feel awkward, communicating in the group. That is definitely up to you. And I hope you liked it. And until next time, study well. Take care. Bye.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from Civil State.